Hi everybody, and welcome back to The Day Before. Today, we're going to be going over my investigation that I finished the day before into Hunt a Killer Curtain Call Episode 5, and I'm really excited. So, the first couple of objects that we received in the box, and let's go ahead and go over what is in the box, okay? So, this birthday ribbon, this accessory, which is a lace glove, Julia's letter to us, the memorial article, the notebook pages, the doctor's report, and there's a couple, the hotel records, the PI report, the theater cell contract, divorce papers, Hector's note, and then that's it. And I have some stuff printed out that was online evidence, as well as Julia's letter emailed back to us after we emailed her. So, our goal this time in this box was to eliminate a suspect. Hunt a Killer is basically a subscription service where you receive a box every month for 6 months, and in 6 months you solve a murder case, okay? And I will leave a link in the description below so that you can check Hunt a Killer out. This current story is basically a cold case where a woman by the name of Viola Vane, who is a stage actress, was murdered in the 1930s, and we're trying to figure it out. Right? So, let's go ahead and start off with Julia's letter. In Julia's letter, she explains that she discovered a desk drawer with a false bottom, and the online evidence includes a picture of that desk drawer, just to note that. And then it also explains there was a ribbon in a box labeled Summer 1934 on top of a letter from Hector, which we received. I showed you the ribbon, and it says it's a boy, right? So she also mentions the blueprint of the theater that we received in a previous box and a lockbox. She says there's something else that's been on my mind too. I keep thinking about the cut up blueprint I sent you last time, which seemed to be marking the spot for some other hiding place. Between the key that was found on Viola's body and that lockbox that was delivered to the theater in 1934, it doesn't seem completely impossible that someone left more than a body hidden somewhere in the cadence. Right? And so Julia is trying to save her theater, the Cadence Theater, and that's where Viola's body was found. Okay? Next, we are going to look over this memorial article, and it is explaining a memorial at Cadence Theater for Viola, November 6th, 1944, so 10 years after Viola's disappearance. Evelyn organized the memorial, and she said, "I often wonder if I am living the life she was meant to lead." She also says, We may never know what really became of dear Viola, but whenever I'm on stage, I can feel her looking down on me from above, right? So, like, she was never, like, Viola's body was never found back then. So, it seems to me suspicious that Evelyn says these things as I can feel her looking down on me from above. Viola was found in the attic of the theater, so that's kind of creepy. And then on the back, it shows where a flower shop burned down, and that was Viola's favorite flower shop, so what's that about? The next thing we're going to look over is these notebook pages of George's, and they are coded. So, I wanted to show you how to do the code real quick. And then I will give the spoilers for the coded messages if you can't figure it out. As you can see right here, before the coded messages is like some note lines for like musical notes, and then there's a number on top and a number on bottom. Okay? So, the way you solve it is look at this, right? The number on the top is 8. The number on the bottom is 3. So the equals THM. And here's why. We're going to change, to code it, we're going to change the third letter. And we're going to go shift over 8 from the letter E. FGHIJKLM. So the turns into THM. Okay? The third letter shifted by 8. So let's do this one. The top number is 1. So we shift the letter by 1. And we do every second letter. So tie is actually go 1 over, right? It's every second letter. So the I is the one that is shifted. And it's from H, because H-I, right? This word would be the first letter of the word and the third letter of the word is shifted. So, if you go back from E, it's D, right? D comes before E. So, if it shifted 1, it shifted from D. This Z would be a Y because it shifted from Y to a Z, right? So, we have the day. Can you guess what that word is? Correct, it's before. So, I just coded the name of my YouTube channel the day before, and that's what it looks like. Okay? So, in these notebook pages, the coded messages, the first one is the Batukias. The second coded message is Chicago overcoats. The third coded message is sold the theater. The fourth is my wife. The fifth is Batukias. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And the final one is cadence. So, in these messages, George is writing about how he owes the Batukias money, about his obsession with Viola, and about maybe selling the theater to Ira. Next, we're going to go over the doctor's reports. Basically, these are 2 of Viola's doctor's reports from 2 of her doctor's appointments. So, basically, in a previous episode, it was said that Viola was off on a rest cure, So she had to stop being the lead role in the play at Cadence Theater. But actually, she was off having a baby. The baby was also Ira Adler's, so the director's. Next, we're going to go over the hotel records. And basically, the hotel records is the key to who we are going to be able to eliminate as a suspect, okay? So, the Excelsior Hotel, right? And November 6th was the day of Viola's murder. So, a man by the name of A.R. Liard pushed reservation following lengthy telephone conversation, offered complimentary meal and drinks sent to table during dinner. Guests requested cocktails made to his specifications. This is also important. Champagne, absinthe, dash of bitters, shot of lime, simple syrup, lime wedge garnish. And then later on it says, on November 6th at 7 p.m., A.R. Liard delivered customers specified drink as requested. Customers' guests choked during dinner. Nearby guests assisted and professional medical assistance was not required. So basically this is the concierge reports and talks about like any eventful thing that happened at the hotel, right? So A.R. Liard, and this is a spoiler alert, it's an anagram for Ira Adler. Ira was on the phone with the hotel from 4:54 to 6:15. He also ordered one of Cadence Theater's cocktails, the Crescendo. And that information comes from our virtual desktop. It is Ira's favorite drink at Cadence Theater. So, Ira Adler was on the phone from 4:54 to 6:15 with the hotel, and that is very important. So please keep that in mind. The next thing we're going to look at is a PI report. So this PI report is basically a person was hired to follow Viola. And each time she was followed, she tried to obscure her identity. And she was basically going out to New Canaan, Connecticut. Okay? So, from this report, and from episode 2, there's a ledger, we can deduce that George and Olga hired the private detective to follow Viola because in episode 2, the ledger of George's had PI fees, $4.15 an hour, cover for Olga. So that's interesting. Next is a theater contract where George sold the theater to Ira and Evelyn. And basically that's what it is. I'm not sure how it ties into the case yet. That may come along in episode 6. And then, whoa, where did the rest go? Isn't there more? Oh, yeah. Here is divorce papers. And this is where George and Ruth got divorced. And Ruth got custody of their daughter. So that just shows us that before there was a baby Jay that Ruth Erickson was traveling with. And everybody was wondering who is doing this case as well. Well, who is baby Jay? Is that Viola's baby? No, that was actually Ruth and George's baby and a red herring. Next, we're going to look over Hector's note, which has a book cipher at the bottom. So, in a book cipher, the first number for this one is the line that the letter is on. the second number is the word. The third number is the letter. So for this first one, let's figure it out together, okay? So the first line, the fourth word, which is duo, and then the first letter, which is D. So, in this cipher, the first letter is D. So, spoiler alert, I am about to tell you the solution for this cipher here at the bottom on this letter from Hector to Ira Adler. Doctor called, baby born. Do you want to visit? Have you told E? And this was dated August 13th, 1934. Here is the last thing we're going to look at before we go over the solution to the case. And this is online evidence I have printed out. What it is it's a jewelry appraisal that Viola got done on her small fortune of jewelry. So, the total estimated value in the 1930s was $167,000, $167,000. So that's a lot. And by today's standards, that's a fortune. So, on the bottom is what we call an at-bash cipher, okay? So, you decipher the letters and then you unscramble them. And I had problems with this. I don't think I'll be able to explain it to you well. And maybe I will do a separate video where I explain all of the coded messages and how to do them for curtain call in a separate video after I learn about this a bit more. But basically, I mean, here's where I was working it out, if that will help anyone. And I also got information from online on how to decipher it, as well as the virtual desktop. So, here is the spoiler. The coded message says, I asked Mr. Germond about discrete temporary storage. He recommended a Paladin brand lockbox. So there's a Paladin brand lockbox that Joe Sampson ordered, who worked at the Cadence Theater for several years. And I basically already deduced that Joe got that for Viola's jewelry. So it seems to me like there's a fortune still hiding in the Cadence Theater. Let's talk about who can be eliminated. On this concierge report, we deduced that A.R. Laird is an anagram for Ira Adler, meaning you can rearrange those letters and it spells Ira Adler. So, basically, we can eliminate Ira Adler. He was on the phone at the time Viola was murdered, and he was speaking to Excelsior Hotel according to the episode 2 police report and these hotel records. So, that has been confirmed, and we can eliminate Ira. We have Evelyn, Olga, and George left as suspects in this case, which we will solve next time in episode 6. Let's get started, detectives, and let's get justice for Viola. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.